Hey guys, okay, so I wasn't able to get on online last night, but I still wanted to cover the points that I had planned. So I'm just making this quick video. Obviously, it's not live, so you can't throw your questions at me as I'm going through the bits and pieces. But if you do watch this back and have any questions, just post them on in the comment section, and we will answer them as the week goes on. Okay, so yeah, there's a couple of things that sort of cropped up during the week, and a couple of things that I wanted to go through. Anyway, so I'm just going to sort of go through those. One of those things is using your calories intelligently, and creating a deficit for known sort of problem days. Okay, so Sarah, I know you said that I believe it was Sunday is sort of a problem day for you, because you don't get out as much as you do during the week. Saturday tends not to be a problem because you're out doing your run, and all of those kind of things. But Sunday, the sort of boredom tends to kick in a little bit, and just you feel that you need to sort of keep active to keep yourself on track. So what we kind of do, or what we want to be doing, is using our calories intelligently, using our free food and things like that intelligently, creating a deficit through the week to allow for Sunday, where we're a little less active, and put some things into place that sort of try and combat that. Okay, so what we might do is on a Sunday maybe eat our first meal a little bit later. Okay, the reason that I say to do that is that we tend to be able to handle being hungry in the morning a little better than we do as the day goes on, because we tend to sit down, we're watching TV, we get a little bit bored, and we tend to pick through boredom rather than actual hunger. So if we have our breakfast or our first meal a little bit later, it leaves a smaller window for us to consume calories. Okay, so we'll feel fuller, and our meals are going to be closer together, so we won't actually be able to sort of eat as much because we've got a smaller window, and it would just be gluttony, because we'll feel full. We don't actually feel like we're hungry, and you would be force feeding yourself. Whereas if you're a little bit hungry, you tend to go for the snacks, the naughty foods and things like that, and tend to overeat on those. But if we're not hungry, it's a lot easier to sort of stay away from those. Okay, so that's sort of something that we can put in place, but also creating a bit of a deficit just to give us a bit of a buffer for that Sunday, so the Sunday doesn't throw us out of off track. Yeah, if we do go slightly out off the rails. Okay. I've got my points written down that I want to cover, so I'm just going through those. I've kind of covered a bit of that in that last bit, but sort of saving calories for the end of the day. Okay, if you're anything like me, I like to sort of chill out at the end of the day, and have something nice in front of the TV as my sort of my bit of my wind down. Okay, so what I tend to do is I tend to save my free food to the end of the day. I've had all of my meals, I know I've hit all of my targets, my protein, my calories, and what I've got left is for my free food. So I can sit there and watch whatever I want to watch on TV, catch up with that, and enjoy a little something sweet. Okay, I also find if I do that, I'm sending myself to bed satisfied. I'm not hungry. I've sort of satisfied that little sugar craving, that something sweet. So I'm going to bed satisfied. I'm not sort of going to bed hungry or craving something. Okay. Okay, so Chloe, you asked about sort of that time of the month and sort of craving all these bits and pieces, and it affecting your mood. So basically, what you're going through, what you guys are going through, is you're in one of three states. You're either in an anabolic state, you're creating something, you're in a catabolic state, you're breaking something down, or you're in a state of homeostasis. which is balance. Everything is happy, the body's happy, doesn't need to break anything down, doesn't need to create anything. Everything, that the systems in the body is nice and balanced. Okay, so you're going to be in one of those states. Now, the body's happiest time is when it's balanced. That homeostasis, that where it doesn't need to, it's not creating anything, it's not breaking anything down, it's completely and utterly balanced. So you're going to be in your happiest state then, because your body is happy and it doesn't need to do anything. Okay, when you're breaking something down, it's getting rid of something in preparation for the new cycle. Okay, so your hormones are going to be all over the place. Your hormones are going to be, certain hormones are going to be elevated, certain hormones are going to be decreased. Okay, so you're not going to be in this sort of happy, balanced place. What we need to do is we need to try and create as much balance as we possibly can through our nutritional choices. But also, when we're craving bits and pieces, we need to sort of scratch that itch as well. Okay, your body's going to be craving those high energy foods. It's going to be craving those sugary bits and pieces. So give it to it, but be sensible with it. Don't go off on a wild one. Create an amount of food that you can actually have. So we've given ourselves 10% for free food, okay, and 10% for questionable health food. Okay, so take that questionable 10%, put it onto your free food. So now we've got 20% for our free food, and have that through that time of the month. Okay, so you've increased it. You're having about probably 350 calories worth of free food, and stick to that. Yes, it's gonna take a little bit of restraint, a little bit of sort of motivation to sort of stay on track with that, but if you do that, you can still create a deficit, give your body what it needs, and still create the balance through the healthy foods that you're hitting outside of the free food target. Okay, we need to make sure that we're hitting our targets still. Okay, because if you go off the rails and have too much junk and food that doesn't have much nutritional content or value, you're going to affect your hormones, you're going to affect your mood even more. You're going to impact that more. Okay, because food does have an impact on how you're feeling, and sort of goes a long way to sort of balancing out those hormones. So we need to still be mindful of getting all of those bits and pieces in. Okay, so that's kind of what I want you to focus on when it comes to that time. Just making sure you hit your targets. Do scratch the itch of the sweet food and the cravings, but just be mindful and do it intelligently. Okay, so only go for sort of 20% of your overall daily intake. If we're feeling hungry, okay, we need to put into place, I don't think any of us are really struggling with sort of hunger. It's more about sort of getting the protein levels and things like that up. But if we do get into a phase where we're getting hunger cravings, or bits and pieces like that, what we need to do is we need to sort of put things into place where we sort of manage that. So eating later in eating your first meal later, so decreasing the window of calorie consumption, that can keep you feeling more satisfied through the day. There's nothing worse than coming to the end of the day, having your last meal at 6 o'clock and having 4 or 5 hours left to feel hungry. Going to bed feeling hungry is not nice. Okay, so we want to decrease the window, maybe have our first meal later, have our last meal later, so we're not in a situation where we're going to bed hungry. Drinking lots and lots of water, so upping your water intake. Water is a good hunger suppressant. Okay, it keeps us feeling full because it packs out the stomach, so we don't have as much room for food, so we sort of manage those hunger cravings. Okay, also it's helping to flush out the systems, get rid of all of those toxins, so it's good for us. Okay, so it'll clear up the skin, all of those kind of things, get rid of all of the nasty bits and pieces. Okay, also I didn't actually have this down, but this is sort of thinking about what I've covered in this post. Your free food, okay? What I don't help manage you overeating with junk food or naughty foods. Don't eat your free food as a hunger suppressant. So if you're feeling hungry and you're wanting a snack, don't reach for your free food allocation. Okay, you may have the best of intentions and only want to eat a certain amount, and you may well be able to do that. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to limit the possibility of going off track. So don't eat your free food hungry. So if you're hungry, don't use your free food, because there's a much greater chance of you overeating that junk when you're hungry. Okay, so have your main meals, have your good, nutritious, wholesome meals, and have your free food as an add-on to that. Yeah, don't use your free food as to curb hunger, to curb hunger pangs or anything like that, because we don't want to be overeating, and we want to limit the chance of us overeating on those foods. Okay, that's everything that I want to cover. So if you do have any questions, throw them over on the bottom of this post and I'll get to those. But yeah, have a great day.